Good evening, Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF wrap-up. And this wrap-up's for a pretty good trading day. It's a pretty wild one. And this is Wednesday, and we're at the 11th of May, 2022, about 6:45 p.m. You know, I told everybody in my subscriptions, my paid subscribers, to not trade going into the CPI number, and that I would start putting out quickly special updates of things to do. It was a great trading day. I did it, saw the number, waited a short while, put it out, then I was doing my other morning flash update for you and the like, and then I came back and did my Spider ETF video. But for the future side of it, I always wait for that market to get that report out and let the algorithms stumble over each other. And they do, because everybody's saying it's bullish, it's bearish, it's this, it's that. And that can go on for a couple hours. But at the end of the day, if you looked at the CPI number, I still don't understand why people think the market has given any signal that it's peaked in inflation. I don't get it. I don't see it. I see a stall potentially. That's a difference between a peak and a stall. And I see a shift in the CPI where now the used cars are coming down, but the new cars are making up the difference. They're jumping away. Airfares are taking off. Gasoline prices out of control. Dining prices shooting through the roof. So everything's going up. And that's the things you always watch. What else is happening with it? In my opinion, this report gave the Fed all the reason it needs to just stay right the course where they're at this point. While fuel prices we know are hitting record highs right now. If you're watching the gasoline, in Chicago we hear that all the time. The gasometer, and they tell you where the cheapest gas station is to do things and so on. You're hitting records. When this report was compiled, you weren't. You were down. So your energy prices were down 2.9% versus up the prior month 11. Now you know they're higher. So that's not quite an accurate read. Just before I'm putting this out, I had the local news on, and I'm listening to Chicago. We have in Chicago a chlorine shortage, chlorine for the pools. So many people's over the pandemic in the suburbs, obviously, put in swimming pools that they're running out of chlorine. So if you go to buy it, they're limiting you to 3 tubs of it or whatever you'd be buying. You cannot buy unlimited amounts. Sort of reminds me when we were buying, do you remember Kleenex and tissues for, tushies? All that going on. Interesting time. That's the differences. And do you think they're breaking the price of chlorine down? When you get a shortage, it's going up. Come on. President Biden is in town, waiting for him to talk. My nephew's with him, so I'm hoping that my nephew comes over tonight. We'll see at what time that all ends. Travels with the president. If you look at Rivian here, Rivian coming down. Now, there's going to be a point here in Rivian. It was up 6% after the market because they claim while they're losing and their loss expanded, they are still saying they are on line to produce that 25,000 car amount. Okay. If they're not going to go out of business, this is a stock that was $180. And here you are. I remember, and I'll never forget, Chrysler going broke, John Deere. You're going to get a certain amount of people that are going to throw money into this. And they're going to say, everybody else is washed out. I'm going to close my eyes. If they can get the trucks built, if they can get the Amazon and the other orders, and they can deliver 25,000, it's a going concern. It's a losing concern, big time, but they have the money to absorb those losses, and suddenly they get over 25,000 other numbers. It takes time. This market won't stay priced at $20. Am I telling you to buy it? No, I'm never a bottom picker. And if you'd follow me right here, does there anything look bullish on this chart? I'm not saying that. Not at all, all right? It's washout time in the market with an embedded reading. But I like to point out stories from time to time that I read. And it's important. I read all day long. I love reading, and I'm one of these guys that went to those courses. Back then it was the Evelyn Wood course, where I could read a page, lickety-split, and my retention level, understanding was the key to me. I understood an awful lot. I wouldn't use that in school ever, all right? It's different. You're gleaming. That is really what that is about, gleaming, so you can watch things, and I still practice that. AMC, Doctor Strange can't take this market. Here's the second biggest movie of the pandemic. It's not having an impact. Maybe Maverick will do it. I don't know. but you're under the Bollinger Band. I don't think you want to be selling that. And Apple, well, we've been talking. It doesn't look good. It still doesn't look good. So here's the stock at 146. I have a good friend that I told you trades an awful lot of this, and he has been waiting for a $15, $20 break. I am certain if I call him, I'll probably do it tomorrow. Did he start nibbling? He's one of those guys. He has good parameters, and his instincts are wonderful in trading. In Disney, by the way, that's certainly not the style I would preach to people. And he has staying power. Most of us don't have his type of staying power. Higher high, lower low, still bearish. Now, Disney, I don't get the story why it's just going to keep getting beaten down. You know, we know that a lot of it had to do with Florida, with DeSantis, and the argument that he is having with Disney. But their theme park business is rock and roll. It's looking good. It's back beyond the pandemic. They're going to do fine there. Its streaming didn't do very bad. To me, this is a market that eventually is going to be okay. You just got to wait. Great management in the company, but not a buy. Not a buy. I don't see anything here that's going to say to me, oh, gee, I'm sorry, I didn't have you buy it. XLF, you're just falling apart in the financials, lower highs, lower lows. What's the theme you're watching on all these charts? They're staying under the 18-day average. What's the bias determined by? Price to the 18-day average. That is my master filter for bias. Not for the trade, for bias. A filter on swing lines, and then you put in the Bollinger Bands and the slow stochastic, and voila, you made yourself a dinner. When you look at XLI, where have you failed again? Now you're back to the Bollinger Band. This will be an area you get a bounce from, I think. You're oversold. You could embed and we get even worse, but you haven't done that yet. Same in XSD. I don't press Bollinger Bands at all. First time you hit them, if you've been short, that's where I tell traders take money off the table. It either embeds and then we step in with a different game plan or we walk away. Look at the home builders. Finally, the collapse. I was looking for this eventually to happen, and the battleground has been in this whole area, and now the trend is down. So until you take out yesterday's high in this market of 62.69, there's blood on the street. Staying under the Bollinger Band is only 5% of the time. I'd be very careful. Now, if you get another day like today where you close lower in the bottom quadrant, then I think you have a different chart story called a breakout to the downside. Let's see if that occurs. I think what hurt that market is in the home builders, they realized with the CPI number, the Fed is nowhere near done. Interest rates moving higher, mortgages not coming down. What does it do to the market? It's going to put the squeeze. The name of the game of the Fed is what? Take demand away. You do that by making money expensive. If you take demand away, you break the back of inflation. People won't want to buy. The demand disappears. You can't keep your wages up with the cost of that good, so you stop buying. Makes sense? It's so simple, and it's so hard for people to grasp. Look at gold. Coming down in increments back to the 200-day average, but an embedded reading. I think any rallies up here are going to be capped at that 100-day. I think the traders are going to look to sell that again, all right? So I can tell you that I had my morning subscriber, the paid subscriber viewers, they have been in the market since up here, and you know it's not on the long side. And against the 200-day average, I've told them, take some money off the table. I'm not going to tell you any more of what I tell them. That is fact. I've got the videos. I can prove all that I'm saying. GDX, you got a higher high, the lower low, you're embedded. I think the same thing here. I think the pros will sell. Now, I don't want you to sell if you make lower lows first. This is a zone where you've got to take something off the table. Copper, as I look at the copper market, I have decided, and I'm probably so wrong, that on copper and XME, I want to trade the short side of gold, silver, the SIL, the GDXs, but I don't want to do this because I'm going to wake up one morning and China is going to say that they've released Shanghai first from the total lockdown. It's going to happen. The fight between China and the rest of the world on this crazy policy they're doing, the criticism, it will come home to roost sooner or later. There's always a way to save face, and I'm sure they'll figure that out in time. But that's going to give you the demand on this, and I'll save XME because the mining stocks, I think, will come back then. TLT, a short covering rally. Look for resistance at 118.77. But back here, you lost the reason. Let me take you right to this day to be short. You lost the embedded reading, often leads to price, and I teach this in my course, going to the 18-day average of closes. You're not quite there, but I think you're going to get there. So it's making the run that I expected. UUP, so here's the dollar. All right, is it going to go anywhere? It's still bullish. Now, it's strange because the futures chart has an outside day down. This has an outside day up. They are not in sync at all, but I like this one better because it's embedded. It's pointing to the upside. If you take out today's low, terrific. That wouldn't change anything, but it's got momentum. It could get back to that 28.08 area without any problem. And at the flip-flop, I'm bearish as can be in the euro. And Miss Lagarde today came out, she's the head of the European Central Bank, saying that, yes, it is time. She won't give us the date, but they're going to stop their form of QE bond buying. That's going to happen right away. And within weeks, that was the term she used, they will begin raising interest rates at the European Central Bank. Well, the initial impact of that is typically a bit bearish, and I think that's what the market did. But if you want to know more about what I do here, and with buy here, sell there, here's the stop. This is what I want you to do. I will have losing trades. If you're looking for me to always be a winner, wrong guy. But I'm going to have winning trades also. It'll be balanced. What I do is money management, trying to catch the moves in the market. I'm not a day trader, so don't think that I'm telling you to buy in the morning and come out in the afternoon. Swing trade, long-term trade based on the weekly charts each Saturday. All of this is covered. And more. You know, I'm always, here, Rivian's not up here. I'm covering Rivian right here with you. So there's a lot that I cover and give you ideas on. And that's the whole idea here. I don't want to manage your money. I want to be your idea guy at a price that is so inexpensive. And I really mean that it's nothing. You're going to say it's like getting a cup of coffee and he's there every day, 25, 30 days a month. Okay? That's basically what it comes down to. So give it a try. What are you going to lose? Very little in terms of dollars, and you might really learn a lot. You're going to get the fundamental, the technical analysis, the trade ideas, the reasons for it, right there on the chart shown to you. Just go to our website, or you can even follow my finger here with your cursor. Move it up to the top here. You'll see an icon. Click on it. It'll take you right to that page. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a great day. I'll catch you in the morning.